Hi everyone, welcome to the A Bit of AI show. And in this episode we talk with Bruno about his life in AI. Hi everyone and welcome to the A Bit of AI show. And this week we will talk to Bruno about his life in AI. The A Bit of AI show is all about the people behind the AI system, because Amy and me in our job, we meet so many people from around the world and they all have like these kind of different skill sets and they're all needed to create these bigger AI solutions. So we invite guests to talk about their career, how they got in that point in their career, to the show. So my name is Henk Boelman. I'm a cloud advocate at Microsoft based in the Netherlands. And I'm a white male with brown hair, and today I'm wearing a black shirt.
And hi everyone, my name's Amy Boyd. I am also a cloud advocate based here in the UK. I am a white female with blonde wavy hair. Today I'm wearing a black top with polka dots on it. And Hank, normally we comment about the fact we can't wear dark colours because of our background, but it's amazing to be sitting here in person with my co-host and being in our reactor environment. So yeah, really excited.
Yeah, and it really matches a lot better than with our black background. Normally we have yellow chairs.
Very colour coordinated, isn't it? We didn't even try.
So that's perfect. So any things before we start the show, Amy?
Yeah, you know me, always like to talk about the cafe. So even now we're here in person as hosts. Just wanted to give you a quick heads up that in the 30 minutes after this session, you can catch us in the A Bit of AI cafe. So if you go to aka.ms/abitofai-cafe, you can join us, our wonderful guest, and you can ask lots of great questions. We share resources, we do all sorts of things in there. It's not recorded or anything, and it makes for a really great community environment.
Excellent. So I think it is time to invite Bruno to the stage. Hello, Bruno.
Hello everyone, this is Bruno from Canada. I'm a white male, I am wearing a black t-shirt today, and I am super happy to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
It is so great to have you here, Bruno. Thank you so much for joining us. As you said, you're over in Canada. That doesn't stop us in this virtual/real world that we live in nowadays. So thank you so much for joining us. First things first, let's dive straight in. Bruno, can you tell us who you are and what you do in the space of AI?
Yes, so it's a tricky question because I am a brand new cloud advocate at Microsoft, which is amazing. And when I said brand new, it's days, literally days. And before this, I was leading an innovation team here in North America for a company named Avanade. And most of the work around AI that we do is basically help clients to solve problems or to find solutions using the AI stack that we have in the Microsoft set of tools. And it's a nice challenge. I mean, I learn a lot. We have the chance to try a lot of tools, and it's a chance to apply AI in real scenarios. It's always a super challenging scenario to talk with the clients and find, hey, how we can solve this, how we can move forward in this direction.
Oh, I love that. And yeah, it's so great to have you on the team, Bruno. I wanted to just say a big thank you. But yeah, we're going to hear more about your role in innovation at Avanade in this. But, you know, we'll bring you on another time and you can tell us all about your cloud advocate role in the future as well. So every job in technology looks different daily, right? We all know how varied the technology industry is. I think that's why a lot of us are in it. We like the sort of variety and the innovation. And you really worked on the cutting edge. So what did your general day look like? Like, you know, how much time are you emailing? How much time are you with clients? How much time are you coding? Can you kind of break that down for us?
Yes, that's a great question, and I always try, and that was my goal when I talk with leadership. I always try to spend a fair amount of time doing some coding and research. I mean, in order to give these solutions to clients, we need to know the tools, we need to test the tools, we need to know what we can do. So I spend a decent amount of time coding, which is kind of weird when I went to a client and they told me, "What are you doing?" I just build this, I just test this. But I think that it's super important to get close to the tool. So my day, it's probably between, I spend my day, depending on the client's time or how much work I have with the real client, I try to have at least a couple of hours per day knowing a new product. So if we get a new release of Azure Machine Learning Studio, I will try to figure out, okay, what is new there? So I can go to the clients that are really using today this product to say, you know what, we can do A, B, and C here to be more productive. On the other side, I talk with clients. I try to understand this business. I try to understand what they are aiming to do, how AI can solve their problems. And that's a super interesting scenario because you learn a lot. I mean, playing with tools, getting to code is amazing. Try to solve real problems is a different level of amazing. It's great. But probably it's 50-50 around testing and coding versus spending time with my clients or my partner, try to understand the real scenarios.
Oh, that's really, really cool. A nice balance. That's a really nice balance in the sort of AI innovation space. Do you have to go end to end though as well in your job? Like when we say AI, some people sometimes just think of, like just the data scientist part or just the machine learning part and stuff like that. At your team, you've got to go end to end. You've got to know everything from data ingestion to data visualization type thing.
Yes, full transparency here. I will try to avoid the data process. It's super time consuming. But no, I was lucky to work with a lot of global teams. They were amazing. I am not a data scientist. My background is more as a developer. So I help the team to move forward, connecting the dots, moving solutions. But yes, usually do end-to-end solutions. And again, we sit on top of out-of-the-box products, like an example, community services, and which are probably doing the 80% of the works, but the other 20 that we need to tweak and customize for specific scenarios is something that we do. But yes, I was super, super lucky to work with great teams. And again, don't get me wrong, I will try to avoid the first steps, the data cleaning, the data whatever. It's fun, but oh my God, it's time consuming.
Oh no, I think I hear you. Everyone says it, right? It's the 80-20 rule and all that kind of stuff. But Henk, you've got a few questions, right?
Yeah.
For Bruno also.
Yeah, so now we know what you do, or actually what you did until like 2 days ago. I am really interested, how did you get to that stage in your career? Like, what did you study? What did you actually start doing after your study? And how did you get to work with AI technology?
Yes, so I'm a 45 years old person, which when I do numbers, I've been coding for 25 years or more. And I've been always a programmer. I started in the .NET early days. I did a lot of C#, I did a lot of C++, doing drivers and this kind of stuff. So I've been always programming, phone stuff for Windows Phone, Windows Forms for Windows, web applications. But as a programmer, I think it was 6 or 7 years ago. I should probably go back and start to realize when it was this happening. I remember that Microsoft released a product / platform. It was called Project Oxford, and it was for face detection. And I love that it was for, again, as a programmer, I see an API there. And I know that data scientists hates programmer when we talk about just creating APIs. It's much more complicated than that. But I see an API there that I submit an image and give me information about the image, faces, people, whatever. And he said, oh, this is amazing. So I started to try to figure out what is happening? How can I create this? So I started to go to EDX and did my machine learning course from Andrew NG, which is full amount of all of math. I was super frustrated after 3 weeks that is all mathematical, whatever, and I getting lost there until we start coding. I think we code in MATLAB or some weird language, but the moment I start to code, I start to understand, oh my God, this is complicated, but I understand it. And it was a super happy moment for me. So I started to basically try to understand how Project Oxford worked. I mean, I will never get that deep, but I started to learn from there. And it was an amazing ride in the last 5 or 6 years because I switched, of course, from MATLAB to Python. So as a C# developer, I started to learn Python. Amazing language. I am super happy. I did a lot of stuff. I am super comfortable with Python right now, starting to learn, I don't know, platform products like TensorFlow, go into Azure machine learning. But it all started there. It all started at the moment that I see that Project Oxford, and I try to understand how it works in the back. And we are so lucky that we have so many training resources that we can go and pick and learn from there. So that's where I start to change my full stack developer role to a more AI focused one.
Excellent. And what did you study?
I did some kind of bachelor program. It was a 3-year focus on computer science. It's not an engineering degree. It's kind of a half engineering, but it was mostly around programming and trying to understand the world of computers. This was back in Argentina. It was very, very low. I mean, we didn't even use a computer until the second year. The first year we just did programs in paper. It was, today I can understand why we were doing that. But I remember the first day that we went to a real computer. And again, I started late in my life to do coding, and I did some first line of COBOL and Pascal, and it was, wow, this is amazing. I can do Control-C here. I can go back and learn and redo and learn. And it all started there.
Amazing, yeah. Turbo Pascal. That brings back memories from school.
Yes.
Oh, excellent. So it sounded like you were having a lot of fun while learning AI and working in the space of AI. But what is the most annoying thing about your role in AI?
Yes, that's a great question, because I was probably going to, I mean, we can talk about bias and we can talk about a lot of things, but if I go back to my consultant life, one of the most annoying things is that we have a lot of people who believe that AI can do anything. And they have this sentence that we are going to use machine learning to do ABC, so this is going to be amazing. And yes, we can use machine learning to do ABCs, but it's probably not going to be amazing. It's probably going to be a lot of work, so for me, it's not annoying, but it takes a lot of work to really explain that AI is but it's a computer science line of work. We can do some stuff, we can learn, we can do predictions, we can do anomaly detection, we can do a lot of stuff in the business side, but it's not a magic pencil. It's not a silver bullet that's going to do anything. And I spent a lot of time teaching or sharing or advocating about this, mostly in the business scenario, where everybody believes that applying AI is the solution for everything. So I think that today the stuff are changing. We have a lot of more knowledge of what we can and can't do. I also speak a lot about ethical AI, because a lot of people didn't realize that we need to also invest and try to see how we are using these tools and these frameworks and these platforms. But spending all of this time teaching and trying to get the people idea of that, oh my God, sometimes it drives me crazy. And I know that I'm going to start a meeting. I am going a 1-hour meeting. I am going to probably spend the first 25 minutes setting up the expectations of what we can and can't do using AI, which is nice because everybody's there. At the end, we are all in the same line. We can all work together. But it's hard for me to put a smile there and say, okay, let's do it. But hey, at the end, I don't really have a smile.
Yeah, and do that over and over and over again, probably for the last years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Bruno, you've survived Henk's tricky question around what is the most annoying thing about AI. But what we really want to do now, if you don't mind, is move on to something called our quickfire questions. So our quickfire questions are a set of 5 questions. We ask that you only answer them, if you can, with either one word or one sentence or phrase, just so that we can quickly kind of get your first thought that comes into your mind, because that's always very telling, but also just to see kind of that pace at which these questions will move. So let's get started with the quickfire round. Are you ready, Bruno?
I'm scared, but yes.
No need to be scared. No need to be scared. We're in full control of the quickfire round. Many people have done a wonderful job, so I do not doubt you'll do the same. So our first question, let's start with a fairly easy one. You might have even tapped onto it actually when you were just saying how you learnt to code. What was your first computer, Bruno?
I don't remember the details, but it was a computer that everybody's using in the 1999. So probably some x86 or something. I really don't know. I really can't remember. I am old.
You're not old. Can you remember what operating system was the first operating system you used?
Yes, Windows 3.11.
There we go.
Yeah. So like 386 time frame.
Yes.
Yeah, it would just barely run on that. Perfect. Next question. What programming language was used in the last project you worked on?
A mix between Python and C#.
A mix.
Oh,
But still includes Python.
oh. But yeah, no. It doesn't matter whether we're in person or not. The answers they're still coming out very similar. But that's great. So no, a lot of people share with us, Bruno, that Python is something they use, but a mix, yeah, that there has been like, oh, Python and this, or I wonder if that's kind of, a movement in some senses. Okay, Bruno, you're doing great. We're on to question number 3. We're halfway through. Okay, what's the most useful thing you've learnt in AI?
That data is super important. I was joking about data, but it's super important, and you can apply the same data value to other disciplines around besides AI. So data is important. It's for me.
Excellent. So next one. Favorite event on the AI calendar?
I'd probably say the GTC from NVIDIA. The last year it was online, so we can watch it, and NVIDIA people blow my mind. And in the personal side, the global AI events, I love to be there. I love the one that we do in the community. That's the best one. So that's my 2 choices. Sorry.
Cool. So you will definitely be there on the 14th and 15th of January.
Yes. Okay. Surprise is coming for that one in Toronto.
Okay, good. That is now on video. You can't back out anymore.
That will be streamed. You have now committed.
Excellent.
Okay, fabulous. Question number 5. Bruno, it's the last question of the quickfire round. You've done a wonderful job so far. Don't let this one let you down. What area of AI is on your list to skill up on next? So what would you like to learn next?
I am doing a lot of work in tiny ML, tiny machine learning, moving and exporting not big, but models to run in very small devices.
Excellent. Which type of devices?
Kind of very low power Arduino and MCUs and this kind of thing. So it's my excuse to go back to do some C++ programming, because you are not creating models, you are basically writing code again to run there. But yes, think about devices that you can run, I don't know, with a small battery, CR32 battery, they can run for years, processing some AI stuff.
Cool.
Very nice, very nice. Well, Bruno, you survived the quickfire questions and you did a wonderful job doing it as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. We never feel like we have enough time to speak with our guests, but we really appreciate you sharing with us your journey, the types of things that you learn, your approach as well. It's super interesting. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, with that, we will say goodbye to you, Bruno, and we'll wrap up the show. But thank you so much for joining us.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope to see you next one. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Oh my goodness.
The first one
I know.
in person here in our nice studio in the reactor.
I know. And actually, it was so much easier for me and you to swap between the questions. Normally, we have that little bit of a delay. So always really good. But that's not it. We always do our close. We always do our announcements. Henk, what are we going to announce this week? What should people focus on?
Yeah, so this one is actually for the whole month of December, where we're airing this A Bit of AI show special. So we run a Cloud Skill Challenge. You can join this challenge on ak.ms/abitofai/challenge. And if you join, you will enter our challenge, and the challenge is to complete some Learn modules. So we will have 20 Learn modules in the challenge. You can go through. It's about machine learning, about the Cognitive Services API. So it is a good mix of everything we cover in the show. And for every Learn module you complete, this month we will plant a tree. So just go to ak.ms/abitofai/challenge, complete those 20 Learn modules, and we will plant 20 trees.
Wow, goodness me. Okay, if that is not a driver enough, you get to learn about AI. We get to have trees planted. It's all good. So yeah, join at ak.ms/abitofai/challenge. And with that, we will wrap up the show. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we hope you've really enjoyed it. We hope you've enjoyed our new format. We're very excited to have this opportunity to get together in person as hosts and to speak to our wonderful guests who are still all over the world, which is wonderful. If you have enjoyed the show and you want to check us out on demand, you can go to our website at abitofai.show. We now have season 1 and season 2 there, so you can do a proper binge watch if you wish. Don't forget, if you want to join us, stick with us for the next 30 minutes after the show. Go to ak.ms/abitofai-cafe. The cafe environment, as I mentioned, is an offline component where you can get together with ourselves, with our speaker, and just have a great conversation and share resources. And so with that, I just want to say a huge thank you. Thank you for watching the A Bit of AI show with Henk and Amy, and we'll see you next time.